You more than anyone. Bring the cabbage! Now!
Question is, have there been any filler?
The doctor! What's he doing here?
Alright, so for these new Series 8 reviews, which I plan to do every week, I'm going to split the reviews into 3 categories. So there's going to be the good, the bad, and the spoilery. This speaks for itself. In the good, I'll talk about the good points of the episode. Bad, I'll talk about the bad points of the episode. And then the spoiler, I'll talk about any spoilerific things that are important to talk about. Okay, so first off, the good. Okay, probably the thing that, the most important thing of the episode, the new Doctor. Is he any good? Yeah, he's Peter Capaldi. Of course, he's good. I'm very pleased with this new take on the Doctor. He is a sort of a darker, fiercer Doctor, yes, like was described in the advertising a whole lot. You know, these words like darker and fiercer, being thrown around a lot. And yes, sure, he is those things, but he's also really funny. And the whole episode is funny. It's not like a drudge to get through. It's not Schindler's List. It's still definitely Doctor Who, and it's still really damn funny. And yes, Peter Capaldi is right at the heart of that. He's got a great knack for comedy, as we've seen with The Thick of It, and here he has a sort of a similar, if very toned down, less sweary, sort of dry humour. There's a great scene with him and Clara in the diner. I won't spoil any of the jokes, but just really, really funny stuff. One of my favourite things about this new Doctor is he just won't put up with anyone's crap. Like, you can see with the 11th Doctor, he'd sort of kind of be nice where he could, maybe, try and be pleasant with people. But this Doctor just does not care what people think of him, especially Clara. Like, he will tell her to shut up if she needs to shut up, which I think is quite refreshing, and I do enjoy this sort of alien aspect that's being brought back to the Doctor, which I think has been missing, in no way a bad way, but I'm glad it's back now. The Paternoster Gang are back, and if you don't like the Paternoster Gang, you probably won't like this episode, because there is quite a bit of them. If you're like me and do love the Paternoster Gang, then you will probably really like this episode, because they're on top form here. Sometimes the Paternoster Gang can be a little underwritten, but in this episode, they really serve their purpose as being the supporting cast, really funny. The relationship between Vastra and Jenny is always one which I've been sort of invested in, and here it's built on a lot more, and I just think it's a really nice romantic relationship, and just kind of how progressive it is, how a lesbian couple where one of them's a lizard, it's I don't know, good stuff. I like how far the show's come from the very sort of how very conservative it was at the beginning, to now it's kind of a lot more liberal in its sort of I really but it's not just a gimmick though. They are really likeable characters, and Strax, of course, who I always find really funny, really hilarious. He is also on top form here. Paternoster Gang, really good in this episode. I really love the direction in this episode. It's directed by Ben Wheatley, who's done a few films. He's a film director. He's not just a TV director. Not that there's anything wrong with a TV director, but you can see why they would bring in a film director, because it has a very filmic feel. It has a very cinematic look, whilst not being overly showy. It probably didn't really lend itself. I saw it in the cinema, and it probably didn't lend itself as well to the cinema as, say, Day of the Doctor, which had a lot of dun 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 dun, those sort of moments. This episode was filled with a lot more quieter moments, which I liked. A lot more bits where the two characters will just sort of sit down and discuss things, which I really liked, because I really thought I was missing in Series 7. There just wasn't enough time for these character progression moments. But yeah, I think the extra running time really helps with that. I wish all episodes of Doctor Who could be an hour and 15 minutes. Unfortunately, that's not the case, but I do think that the extra running time, but also just kind of, I think Stephen Moffat's taken on board sort of some of the criticisms of the last series, and created much better pacing, and I think Ben Wheatley really suits that sort of mould. I really love the new title sequence. It's apparently, I think it's based off a fan title sequence, which makes a lot of sense, because if you've seen any of the fan title sequences on the internet, they are a lot better than the title sequence for Series 7, I'll tell you that. But the new Series 8 title sequence is really cool, I really like it. The new theme, it's kind of got a sort of a very 80s, like Jonathan Nathan Turner, kind of, the 80s theme. Kind of high-pitched and sort of synthesizer thing, and I like it. It might take a bit of time for it to grow on me. I don't quite love it yet, but I think eventually I will probably grow to like it quite a bit. Okay, so the bad. Well, I don't even really want to say the bad, because there isn't a lot of bad in this episode at all, really. It's to do with Clara, and it's not anything to do with her specifically in this episode. Because in this episode, I think Jenna Coleman gives a really good performance, like she always does. Great chemistry with Capaldi, but there's this thing that Stephen Moffat does. He goes, he constantly in the script, he brings up Clara. People saying, "Oh, Clara's a bossy control freak." The Doctor says, "Oh, you're a bossy control freak, Clara," and whilst in this episode I could see it, how she's not been like that at all. Like if I described her personality previously, I wouldn't have said control freak. It just comes out of nowhere. It's Stephen Moffat doing he's telling us what Clara's personality is, but he's not showing us. I think a wise man once said,
"It's not who I am underneath, but what I do that defines me."
So I just, I mean, it's not really a fault of this episode, but I guess we'll just have to ignore it if this is Clara now, and they're just gonna try and pretend that this is what she's always been like. Then all right, I guess, but I don't know. Just I do think Clara has the potential to be a lot better this series. I just think it's a shame that they missed the mark last series. The villain plot is sort of meh. I mean, it's not awful by any stretch of the means, but it considering how sort of great the Doctor aspects, the Doctor and companion aspects were in this episode, the villain plot was kind of just there. I mean, there was a nice callback to an earlier episode with it, which I really liked, but the villains were just kind of there to get the plot going. But then again, so was Prisoner Zero in the 11th Hour, and so were the Sycorax in the Christmas Invasion. So it's not like it's not like these first Doctor episodes are like have really been known for the great villains, because of course they're supposed to be about the Doctor and about the new Doctor and how how they sort of well, we're just introducing the new Doctor, which is a big undertaking in itself. Okay, so now the spoilery. Now, if you haven't seen the episode, skip to this time code where it's the end of it, where I'll tell you my overall score for the episode, because trust me, there's something in this episode which you really don't want spoiled, so just skip to the end. Skip to this time code. Okay, right, so those people have gone? Okay, good. Right, okay, so you all know that Matt Smith came back, and he had a cameo in the episode. Which I can see some people not liking, saying, "Oh, come on, it's a new Doctor, let's just move on." It was just sort of distracting. We've already accepted Capaldi, we don't need it. And I can kind of see where those people are coming from, but I really liked it. I thought it was a really good storytelling device by Stephen Moffat. You know, how does Clara accept this new Doctor? By having the old Doctor help her accept it, and I thought it was a really beautiful moment, acted by Matt Smith so wonderfully. I love that man. I almost cried when watching it. It was a really nice surprise, and I just think it's really clever, and that's what this episode has, a lot of really clever stuff. I really do like the cameo, and I think it's the perfect way, really, for Clara to accept the new Doctor. There was a slight reference to the Doctor, you know, Peter Capaldi playing previous roles in Doctor Who. When he's talking to the tramp, he's saying, "Oh, I recognise this face. Maybe I picked this face on purpose." I wonder if they'll go any further with that. I kind of hope they don't much. Maybe a little bit more development, but I don't really want them to turn it into a big thing because, I mean, we all know the real reason. You know, so we all know the behind the scenes reason why that happened. So I don't want them to make a convoluted story reason behind why there are 3 people in the Doctor Who universe who look the same. The end bit, no idea. No idea what's going on there. Is this woman character that appeared at the end, is she's supposed to be the main villain of the series? I have no idea. I don't want to know, because I'm looking forward to it. But it does look like it's going to be an interesting series arc, but not one that's intruding too much. There was reference to the girl in the shop way back in Series 7, which I do like. I like that, you know, he's not just leaving these things. Stephen Moffat, you know, he's actually attempting to solve everything, which is good. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I have no idea what's going on. I don't want to know what's going on, and hopefully by the end of the series it'll be a satisfying conclusion. I can't wait to see how this arc's going to go. Okay, so everyone's back now. Okay, good. So what is my overall score for the episode? Well, I mean, you're not going to go away from Deep Breath thinking it's the greatest episode you've ever seen of Doctor Who. It's not, or at least for me it wasn't. But saying that, it was still a cracker of an episode, a really great opening story, and a really good first Doctor story for Peter Capaldi. I'd probably put it up there with the 11th Hour and a bunch of other... the 11th Hour as one of my favourite Doctor Who, and the Christmas Invasion, I really like that too. And Rose, and not Time of the Rhine, no one likes Time of the Rhine. But... I put it up there with those great episodes, as it was one of my favourite First Doctor episodes. So my overall score, I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10, which is definitely a good score. I did really enjoy the episode. A bit of a meh villain plot, and of course there were some sort of inconsistencies with Clara's character, but great new Doctor companion relationship, great supporting cast. Great direction, great writing, just a real cracker of an episode, and I can't wait for the rest of Series 8. But what did you think? Did you enjoy this episode? What did you think of that cameo? Please put your comments in the comment section below, and please subscribe. Thank you. This was Isaac's Movie Page, and thank you for listening.
You've redecorated. I don't like it.